So Andre Ward has had some back and forths on Twitter with Carl Froch over comments Carl Froch made about George Groves' retirement. It's actually quite funny to watch, and from what I saw in them comments, I'd like to think that Andre Ward got the better of them. Basically, for those who don't know, Carl Froch was interviewed on Sky Sports where he said that nobody will really be sorry to see the end of George Groves, which I completely disagree with. I enjoyed watching George Groves fight. I know a lot of people did. George Groves had a lot of fans. He was well known. He wasn't like an Anthony Joshua level megastar or a Tony Bellew, but he was a well known star, in the world of boxing anyway. And Carl Froch, anyone I think who's bruised Carl Froch's ego, he has an issue with. That's the kind of way I have a look into this. Even though he beat George Groves, George Groves talked a lot of smack to Carl Froch, but I think Carl Froch's ego was hurt, especially in the first fight. And I think that's why Carl Froch kind of has some animosity towards him. And, Andre Ward, I don't think Carl Froch does himself any favours when he talks about Andre Ward. I remember when Ward announced he was retiring, he said that, and I love the way actually, because I remember this, because I was actually getting annoyed listening to this, that he was calling Andre Ward this, that and the other and saying, he wasn't entertaining and he wasn't this, he wasn't that. No one will be upset to see the back of him. And he added, this was on Sky, I think it's probably still on YouTube somewhere, but he added at the very end, he said all that and he goes, but I'm not bitter. It's like, yeah, of course you are. You're bitter because you got absolutely schooled by Andre Ward. And Carl Froch was saying that Ward, didn't want the rematch, didn't want to come to the UK. No, Ward wanted to go to the UK, didn't want to fight him in Nottingham, because when they fought in Atlantic City, I believe, which is on the other side of America. Andre Ward's from Oakland, California, is that? I think that's where he's from. And yeah, other side of America. So, Ward was willing to go to the UK to fight Carl Froch, just didn't want to fight him in Nottingham, which is a fair point. And at the end of the day, Andre Ward was the guy giving Carl Froch the rematch. Andre Ward was the super champion at the time. And Carl Froch didn't want it. And Carl Froch even admitted that if he fought Andre Ward, he'd probably lose. Because Carl Froch knew he couldn't beat Andre Ward. Andre Ward had Carl Froch figured out to a T. And Carl Froch, as good as he was, and he was good, he won a lot of his fights just purely down to nit and grit and fitness. He was not a master boxer. He was always off balance. He was poor defensively. He had good punching power. He had horrible balance, actually, when you think about it. He had the jab, with his kind of like right hand down almost, because his balance was so poor. So Carl Froch, he's very big. He has a big ego, Carl Froch. And, I've never really been a fan of Carl Froch personally. He was fun to watch when he was a fighter. But, his ego was something that, it's almost like he's trolling people now at this stage. It's like he's Amir Khan. Like, he's just trolling people now, I think, at this stage, trying to say, he was this, that, and the other. Great fighter, great champion. Andre Ward, nah. At least it looks like Andre Ward beats Carl Froch in every aspect. He was also, saying, Carl Froch, that Andre Ward only retired because HBO let him go. Andre Ward came to the end of a 3-fight deal, which was to culminate in a fight with Sergey Kovalev and a rematch. Andre Ward beat Sergey Kovalev the first fight, gave him a rematch, beat him again. He made something, I think over the 2 fights he made over $10 million, something like that, something crazy. I know he made about $5 million in the first fight. I think he made something like 7 or 8 million in the second fight, plus pay-per-view buys. So he made about 10 million or so. Yeah, Andre Ward was already, pretty much set up. He didn't need the box, and he had injuries. He didn't have injuries at the time, but the shoulder injury that kept him out of the ring for a while. Andre Ward didn't need to fight on. Andre Ward is, for my money, an all-time great. He'll probably go down as one of the best super middleweights of all time. Carl Froch is just bitter. Carl Froch is just bitter towards Andre Ward. And, Carl Froch, as I said, great champion, great fighter, horrible pundit, terrible commentator, which I've always said about Carl Froch. It's almost like he's oblivious to what goes on in the ring. But, yeah, Carl Froch, at the end of the day, Andre Ward, I think, will always have Carl Froch's number, whether it's in the ring or whether it's outside of the ring, judging by what was going on Twitter. But, yeah, nice little video. I just thought I'd address that. And, leave your thoughts down below on what you think about Carl Froch and Andre Ward. Would anyone be interested in maybe seeing them to have a rematch? Not me, but, someone I'm sure is going to maybe ask the question. Me personally, not really. I think, if they would ever have a rematch, Andre Ward wins it again. And I think both of them are pretty much, Andre Ward's been out of the ring for over a year. Carl Froch's been out of the ring for 5 years? So, yeah, no, that ain't going to happen. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on this anyway. Leave yours down below. And, I'll talk to you after.